You spoke about the public sector also, um, and you spoke about jobs. You spoke about the thousands of engineers. First, let me ask you, a lot of people talk about AI, and they say that it's going to take jobs away. Do you think AI will get rid of a lot of jobs? Do you think we need to be worried about the amount of jobs that will have to be removed because AI will replace them?
I think at the invent of any new technology, this has always been a big kind of shift that jobs are going to be taken away. I'm a firm believer that AI will transform jobs. Today, we've seen AI take over our mundane tasks, our repetitive tasks. I have Isha and Shloka here that have founded a new preschool in Bombay called Little Nest. I was on the joke.
Best preschool.
I was telling them that whilst you're listening to me, please do not start talking about Little Nest. Just listen to me. But the one thing that they have also been able to do is, really create the value for the student because of the repetitive, mundane jobs like, scheduling has been taken over with AI, and we see that as a definite, shift. I mean, if you just think about it, when the internet was created, no industries were born. Fintech was born, e-commerce was born, a creator economy was born. Imagine even our generation, Harsh, if you imagine that you can earn a full-time living but just being a content creator on YouTube or Instagram, you had not imagined it. Yeah. So I'm firmly of the belief that AI will transform jobs and won't replace jobs. We at Jio are already embracing it. The main thing is we've seen these shifts happening over time, right? We've seen how internet can create these new industries, these new jobs, but we can prepare for it this time around. And when I say we prepare for it, is equip ourselves with the right tools, equip ourselves with the right insights that to excel our impact, excel our businesses. At Jio, like a small example, today we monitor our network that now covers about 95% of the living population of India. Before that, we had to do it across systems. Today, we can proactively monitor, and before even a customer has a bad experience, we can predict it. And this is just not, something that is, this is, again, instead of delving deep into the data, figuring out what the consumer does, the patterns are being picked up by ML engineers, AI engineers to kind of spend the time to actually solve the problem, then finding out what the problem is. So that's one way that we prepared for it at
So
Jio.
this is already happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are significantly actually working on AI. It's just that maybe we don't talk about it as much, but there is like rapid deployment of AI systems already.
Of course, I think that goes without saying. Our quickest way is to embrace and use AI in the best possible use cases across companies. I think there will be one. What we're seeing right now is consumer-led AI, but second is company-led AI, and I think we have to embrace that. Rather than that, I'm totally a believer in the thought that companies will have to embrace AI or their future is very, very bleak, to be modest. But that's something that we must do on a daily basis. In fact, some of our daily reviews, include that the scope of work that we have to implement company-wide to, reimagine some of our company functions. We spoke about our operation centers, but customer care, sales, data analytics, all of that we'll have to embrace as we build our companies.
Yeah, I think AI is here to stay, and you can live under a rock, but or like just hide away from it. But it's going to transform because it's a horizontal. It's not a vertical. It's going to touch every single part, and I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job to be in front of the curve. But you spoke about Little Nest, and yeah, we're going to keep talking about Little Nest. Even if they don't talk about it, we'll talk about it. But at a broader level, education is one of the biggest use cases of AI globally. And is there deep tech that we are using to solve for problems like education? In our country, literacy is going to be a very big component of us getting to that $10,000 GDP per capita?
Um, I think the question is right. I don't think it's only an AI problem to solve. I think it's a deep tech problem to solve. And what do I mean by deep tech? For us, there are 5 layers that create a deep technology company. In this particular use case, the first thing to solve for in education is connectivity, which we pretty much solved in India. Today, 1.5 million schools, they all have connectivity, at that layer. The second layer on top of that is compute, and not only data center compute, but edge compute, and you'll see us making advancements on that at Geo in all across the nation. After that comes the devices layer, where we have to enable devices that can consume and actually deliver to the endpoint, which in this case will be the student, across affordability standpoints, across, so it may be, a cloud PC laptop or a low-cost laptop. It could be a smartphone. Tomorrow it can be AR glasses that we can use to deliver these devices across to enhance the experience that we can actually deliver. On top of that comes the content layer, where content not in the form of videos, but just educational content or anything. And then comes the intelligence layer. So these 5 layers put together, enable us to become solving big problems like education. And I think there's a hand in hand, right? You cannot solve the education and the literacy problem only by technology. You have to work with institutions that have been created across India to, have a teacher module, have a student module, have a administration module. And that's really where we think that the future to solve all of these problems are. And finally, the 5 layers that I spoke about, they need to create an absolutely seamless customer experience. If they do not create a seamless customer experience that is easy to adopt, easy to have, then it becomes very, very hard for us to solve large issues like the literacy rate and education in India. We're going to be doing that. We're going to enable ourselves. The similar thing applies to large issues like agriculture. Similarly, IoT devices, different type of content to those, and the same thing for healthcare. So I think it's a deep tech problem to solve. With technology, you need to be sitting and understanding with the local, infrastructure and institutions that have been created to solve this problem. And I think we at Geo, we will be working at this to ensure that we can do the best scale to impact, again, the millions and millions of schools and students of India.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest use cases and the most value addition that can be given to this country. And I know you do that actually in real life, because personally, I've seen that with like Little Nest, NMAJS, DAIS. The schools are the best in the country, and that's because they keep evolving and advancing. Because AI is going to be a part of our kids' lives. They are going to have the whole world interact with us, right? We already are seeing that. Imagine what they're going to have in 10 years from now. So it's, we have to embrace it. Now, the government, you spoke about public sector. How do you see the government working with the private sector? Because the future of tech and AI in this country will only get achieved if we have a full collaboration between a public-private partnership.
I think we're extremely lucky to be under the visionary leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on this. I think, it is the biggest blessing of our country to have a leader like him leading this mission. Recently, at Parliament, he mentioned that AI does not only just start for artificial intelligence, it actually stands for aspiring Indian. And
aspiring Indian, I love it. Amazing.
It's not my quote; it's our Prime Minister's quote. So, I think that is really the core mission that we should be. We should always look to aspire to greater heights. I think what he's done with the AI mission of this country is exemplary. We're amongst the first nations to make AI a priority in the country, and it's not only for the country, but it's a place of collaboration that we can have with the world. Again, I think he's already set out the vision, and we need to make sure that we go. And the one thing about this government is they work on a very, very fast basis. They want to, so it's for the private industries to work at that pace, continue to, innovate at, a very, very fast pace, whether it be at the infrastructure level, whether it be at, the products and services layer that he's going to be enabling.
The government is an enabler.
Yes.
And the private companies have to actually push forward innovation and AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, when it's a national, priority, that is something that we're very, very blessed to be under.